Whenever I had opportunity to be with her over the years since the governor's death, she said to me, "The funeral for Bill was perfect. It was just what we both wanted. A simple, straightforward service, no eulogies. Just a few well-known hymns and a brief, with the emphasis on brief, homily." And I tell you this because some of you may be surprised that there will be no notables singing her praises, no pomp, no circumstance. Instead, what we have here today is the same kind of prayer book service that would mark the passing on of any other member of this congregation. No different for her than for you. I had a warm and charming conversation with a few of the family members the other day as we talked about this service. I had always thought of Rita as a beautifully organized, sublimely intelligent, fair-minded, honest lady. And I was curious how they saw her, because there's nothing like asking your children to get at the truth about you. And so they affirmed my sense that she was a well-organized person, and they illustrated it. 4 kids, innumerable responsibilities. If you looked at the obituary, you saw them, and I'm not going to run through all of that. It's exhausting just to read it. She did all that stuff. Amazing, and she had these children. You know what she did? I thought this was hilarious, and I wish I'd heard about this long ago. She didn't go to Tom Thumb once a day, and certainly not twice or 3 times a day, as some people I know well do. Instead, she lined up the grocery shopping for 3 weeks. And then she took the 4 of them to Tom Thumb, and they each got a cart, and they went up and down those aisles throwing the stuff into the cart. And home they went. And guess what? Some of you are old enough to remember green stamps. Well, they'd come home with reams of green stamps. And you know what she did with them? This is a picture I think that will remain with me as long as I live. Here you got 4 little heads around the kitchen table, little saucers of water, little sponges, wetting down those green stamps and pasting them in the redemption books. Whether she ever went to a redemption center or not, they didn't know. And then, of course, politicizing them. I thought this was fascinating too, that she covered the bases for the GOP. She would take them in the station wagon to the end of a block. 4 of them, 2 on each side of the street and 2 on the other side of the street. They'd all have their little pamphlets or their brochures or their circulars or whatever it was. And down the street they'd go. And she'd meet them at the other end of the block and cart them to the next street. Down the street they'd go, and she'd meet them at the end of that street. And you could cover an awful lot of territory with 4 children carrying off the load.